QBPers, welcome back to another Quintessential Browns podcast. I am one of your hosts, Yusuf Ali. That's our other host, Jake Solomon. We are back, and you can hear by the slightly less enthusiasm in my voice. Week 2 didn't go our way, to say the least. Um, shit. What you got to say before we get into this somber week 2 episode?
Yeah, that was a rough game. That was, I think, emotionally. I don't know that I felt something like that in a long time. Sports speaking. That was with Chubb going down in the game going the way that it did. That was really, really tough. That was really, really tough. That's all I'll say.
Let's just get right on into it. Well, uh, to start out, I thought fluky. Uh, on some real first pass of the game, pick six type of shit. That happens in football sometimes. You see that a lot. Opening score. Sometimes it's a kickback. Sometimes the return and drop the ball, and the other team pick it up and run right in there. A lot of shit, a lot of fluky shit can happen, and you don't get too rattled. You're like, oh, okay, whatever. So they score first. It's not like they dominated us on defense, blah, blah, blah. It's nothing. I'm still feeling pretty good. And then the drive start. And we starting off. All right, we starting out. We running the ball. I'm calling for first down runs. And I believe one drive we ran the ball 3 first downs in a row. They just kept giving it to Nick Chubb, kept giving it to Nick Chubb. Then he'd take a breather and then Ford again. And our running game was looking good. Deshaun started out throwing, he was aiming for more, but then he kept catching them on the sidelines out of bounds. And it was like, one of these times he gonna catch him. He finally did, but I get to that. So then now we still going. We starting to pick up the offense a little bit. When did we score? We scored on a what happened? Somebody scored.
We scored in the second quarter. That was the drive
Oh,
that
that was right after the injury. So that's why I don't remember it.
yeah.
So yeah, let's get to that. So we running. Good drive. Nick Chubb is, like I say, like 3 first downs in this drive, at least 2 in that drive. We just running, we looking good. He throwing the ball around. He's David Bell that made a catch, fucking the Joku that made it. Everybody catching the ball. We just looking, feeling good. We gonna beat these bum ass Steelers. The defense is looking good. And then the worst thing that can ever happen in Browns history. I think, let me see. Try to think of a more devastating injury to a Browns player. No, nope. Hands down, the most devastating injury to the most important Browns player. And his Jim Brown never got hurt. Nobody in the '80s never got hurt like this. Um, I don't even know who we had that was good enough to even think about who got hurt in the '90s. But it was nothing like this. This is absolutely hands down the worst. I stopped kind of paying attention for the probably the next 10 minutes. I had to snap back into the game once I saw we was kicking from our own end zone. I said, what's going on? We have completely lost control of the game. And that's pretty much what happened. Deshaun Watson, 1 minute he was darting lasers, the next minute he was running around with like a chicken with his head cut off. 2 times, count them, 2 times in a row, he got face mask penalties, which led us to 3rd and 25s and back-to-back possessions. You can't win a
I was
game
gonna say,
like
by the
that.
way, like how many times does that happen to a quarterback? It's very rare for it to happen even once. Maybe you get a little bit excited or something. You really don't like the defender, but twice in
Twice.
one game. I don't want to go off too much of a tangent, but man, on a national stage, Watson could not
Twice.
have made himself look more like the villain that everybody thinks he is. And he did not handle himself well. He did not keep his composure, even though, maybe they were trying to get under his skin. Maybe they were talking that shit, but how can you not expect that? And you're the quarterback of the team. You're the leader. You were, nominated as captain. Everybody wanted you to be captain. They voted you captain. A really poor display by Deshaun. It was really disappointing to see that from a leadership standpoint. And then also, yeah, just obviously his performance. That was awful. That was
It
absolutely
was
terrible.
it was up and down, very inconsistent. Like drive some passes, he looked good, and other passes when he was scrambling, they made it hard for him. And I mean, I guess that's everybody's job is to protect the quarterback. Because when he had time, he completed a couple in the middle of the field passes, a couple to the sidelines, or more finally start connecting. But when it
That,
collapsed, he looked lost, and we paid that
yeah,
fumble,
and
that last fumble when we up by 3 points, and we really just could kind of run the ball out because the defense is playing excellent. We taking the ball back, we getting turnovers on downs, we get making them punt. It was just great on defense. No complaints here from the defense, but we just that last fumble, they defense scored 12, two touchdowns, and we lost by 4 points because the defense scored 12.
I was just gonna say part of that was you could see it pretty much the whole game how much pressure the Steelers line was getting, and our left tackle Jedrick Wills did not do well. Juwan Jones didn't do great, but rookie first start going against TJ Watt. Like I'm not really that pissed off about that, but man,
Yeah,
I just
TJ
think
Watt
from
had a good day.
he had a great game, and that's why I also think from a coaching perspective, how could they not have made any adjustments? Since you didn't really see anything happen, they were getting all the pressure that they wanted to. They didn't try anything really unique. They didn't hit them with any bootlegs or anything different, or they didn't really try that many screen passes, which I thought would have helped since their D line was getting such a push. I
Nope.
thought that would have helped a lot, but they didn't really seem to change things up. Watson did not play great, but I also don't really think we set him up for success. And now that was to me the most concerning part of this whole thing was Deshaun Watson's performance. Like where's the guy that we paid all this money for? Where is he?
Yeah.
Because we have not seen him look lights out. He has not looked like the $250 million man or however much he got paid.
Last week we gave him a pass because it was week one,
Mm-hmm.
but this week he had a whole week and a day. We were the superior team coming in. I believed, regardless of how good TJ Watt is, but his true colors when that color, I thought the strength of him was when he has to use his legs, and
Yeah, extending plays.
he got two face masks, fumble. He did get a no. That was a fumble too. When he stretched for the first down, they called that a fumble. So he just had a bad game. It's really a couple good passes, one touchdown, but to give up essentially a pick six, it's still on you. It's a quarterback stat, even though it was a deflection. A pick six and then two fumbles, one of them leading to a score. That was a bad game. You got to score three touchdowns on offense to overcome that. If you're gonna give up
Yeah,
two, you got to score three. That's just math. That's easy math.
yeah,
But we
yeah.
did
That
not do that.
that was a really really bad game. Like outside of Nick getting hurt, which really took the wind out of my sails. I know it. Everybody, all my friends I texted were saying how awful of an experience. Well, I mean, you got to hear this guy is screaming in pain on
Screaming.
TV,
He was
screaming
screaming.
in pain, and I didn't even see replay. I don't want to see a replay. Um, but it was just such a bad feeling because he's such a good dude on and off the field. Such a great person. You'd hate for that to happen to him, and obviously his position on the field and what he does is so instrumental. But man, it still is tough. Like I hate that happened to him. Like why him? I feel bad about that, and I don't know if Stefanski wasn't ready to adjust after that happened, but
No,
we
that's definitely a shock to the system. If we felt like that watching, I can't imagine how he felt like that as a coach.
yeah. And the thing is, well, Jerome Ford, for all intents and purposes, had a pretty good game
Yeah,
outside
he
of that.
did as much as he could.
He busted that 169-yard run and had over 100 yards rushing, but nevertheless I was very shocked to see how maybe predictable our offense was. You know, we've had a whole offseason with Deshaun, and I don't know. I knew that Stefanski was going to adjust the offense for Deshaun, but it didn't really look like we did that much. I thought like he was. I don't know. It did seem too predictable. It's also just like just watching the game. There's some really questionable stuff with like receiver packages. It was like all tight end. Like I saw Harrison Bryant line up as a
Yeah.
wideout, and he is not athletic. I mean, he's probably athletic for his size, I guess, but where are our receivers? I just didn't understand that. Like some of the packages we put out there did not make any sense to me. Especially, and I think those were passing plays too. It's one thing if that's a run, but it was some really questionable stuff. And yeah, we've got some soul searching to do on offense, anyways.
I'm glad you said that because that's what I was gonna close with was that one of all the bad shit that we did. This one particular play, which I don't know if you want to blame it on the coaching or Deshaun just being, I don't know, being nervous, but it was, I want to say 3rd and 7 on that last possession. And when he got the snap, when you saw the way the defense was lined up, you knew the blitz was coming. So I'm thinking, this is the perfect opportunity for a quick slant across the middle or some shit like that. To just throw it 4 yards and let the receiver take it the other 3 or 4 yards. We only need 7. Just throw it real fast to the tight end, let him go, or even a receiver coming. Anybody. But the look in his face when they snapped that ball was like they called a run play. They weren't even thinking about throwing it on that play. And I was like, I tweeted, that should have been a slant, and somebody retweeted it immediately. So it was like, because that was that one play, like you say, where was the receivers? Where were the receivers? But anyway, y'all saw QB period. We ain't gonna drone on and on and on too much further on that. That was just bad. Luckily, I guess the only thing we can pull from is that we still on top of the division, maybe, or tied for first, and it's only 2 games. So I mean,
It's only
but
two
what?
games. Yeah, if we want to be positive, we can say it's
Yeah,
only 2 games. We were on the road. We lost a pivotal player on offense. You know, and there was like a human aspect to that as well. I think that if it's tough for us as fans, like I know that team loves Nick Chubb. Like I know that team, the Browns should put a Nick Chubb decal next to the Jim Brown one on their helmets for the rest of the season. That's
yeah,
that's how much he means
yeah, man.
because he's the man and everybody loves him. And even if you're not on Nick Chubb's team, I think he's just so well respected around the league. So, but yeah, to your point, if we're able to take any positives, we're only a game back or a half game back from the Ravens. They're 2-0. They do lead the division, but it's not over, and our defense still looks really good. I think the biggest thing moving forward is Deshaun has got to get going. That is the number one thing. He's got to get going. Whatever's going to make him more comfortable, they got to figure this shit out. They have to figure it out.
I
So
believe he will. I believe he will. The metaphor of the week. How did it feel watching this game? Oh man, watching this game was like, oh man, it was like he was having a semi good time. It wasn't the best of times, like a semi good time. It was like you was chaperoning your like you was watching over your little sister's party. Like your parents decided to let your 8th grade sister invite her friends over for the party, and you the senior big brother. You ain't you gonna watch it because they ain't home. You don't want to let it get too crazy, so you down there and you just kind of watching. You just kind of making sure everything is going on. Then one of the kids come over and be like, "You want a DJ?" So you like, fuck it. I mean, I might as well. So now you're having a good time. It's almost a good time. It's almost a good time. Everybody dancing. You like, hell no, I'm connecting. I'm playing songs that these 8th graders like. Fuck it. This is cool. I'm having a good time. And then all of a sudden, some dude like that Cruz dude or that dude in Buffalo, whatever their names, just come in, some random eighth grader from another school and just shoot up the house. I'm talking about shoot
Damn.
everybody.
Damn.
Shoot,
Damn.
shoot your sister, shoot you. You survive. Everybody survived, but everybody is shot. And the party is over, and you are sad and depressed, and you don't know how you're going to move forward. You just glad everybody alive.
Wow.
Yeah. Yep, that's
Wow.
how watching this game was.
I think we have a record for QBP darkest metaphor. I think that takes it. It's been
Yeah.
for how many seasons now? I think that's the darkest one. Is someone coming into a party and spraying it up is the
Yep.
same thing as Browns losing Nick Chubb in a game with the Steelers. It pretty much is. Pretty much.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh, that's going to be tough to top. That's going to be tough to top. All right. This game was like going into the wilderness, and then you get captured by some tribe there, and then they kill your friend, and then you have to see them just limb by limb just rip them all off, and he doesn't die right away, so you see it happen. It's like the worst thing in the world, and then but you think maybe there's a chance, maybe you guys could escape, but
Yeah.
you know in your heart of hearts it's not going to work out, and you just
So
slowly see them just pick at the body and just go to a slow miserable death.
in front of
That's
your face, like in your you just see him take his last breath.
oh
You
man.
seen the limbs get ripped. You heard the skin tear from the bone.
Mm, mm. Yeah, we went very dark this week.
Yeah.
Very dark. But you know what? Nick
It's
Chubb
appropriate.
is dark times, and
Yeah.
this is unprecedented waters for us, losing
Yeah.
someone that we love a lot, and
Mhm.
to see him go down like that is not
Yeah.
easy. And
Yeah.
there's no right or wrong answer, but that was
No.
ours for this week. So
Yeah. So that was it, QB Beers. It was like in like out of nowhere, a party you was having a seemingly good time, shot up, and watching your friend die, but getting ripped apart by a monstrous animal. Go Browns. Even though it was such a shitty game, we still got to hand out these game balls. It's gonna be quick because it was a loss, but on offense, I got to give it to Coop. Coop made some hell of a catches, kept some plays alive. Especially towards the end, that 18-yarder. That was great on the sidelines. Shout out to Coop. We needed that. Plus, he looked like he was kind of hurt, and he wasn't even. He was kind of questionable to play, but then he did and made all those catches. That was awesome. And on defense, I gotta give it to Dale Pitt again. Dale Pitt was all over the place again. He made a late play, um, in the fourth quarter. So
yep.
Dale Pitt, keep doing what you're doing, man. You're gonna fuck around and get Defensive Player of the Year. You're definitely going to the Pro Bowl. Keep this up. So Dale Pitt and Coop, those go. They get the game balls for this week from me.
uh, yeah. I mean, it's I'll go with somebody different just to give somebody different, but I'll just say Jerome Ford. He
Oh yeah, yeah,
uh
yeah. Definitely,
he
I could.
did,
He could got it.
coming into the game, not thinking he was going to get as many carries as he did, and having to step into some pretty big shoes. Um, he did what he could do given the situation. So I'll give it to him on offense. If I'm not going to say Amari Cooper was great, he had some really great catches, and he caught almost, I think, every ball that he should have caught. So
Yeah,
I'll give
yeah.
it
Coop.
to Jerome Ford. Defense, yeah, Del Put, man. Wow, what a season he's having. 2 games in, but he's looked really, really. I mean, our whole defense, man, has been so impressive. That's why it's so sad that our offense gave up these points, not even our defense. So it's really skewed to say that or we allowed 26 points, because it's not
Didn't.
really true. Del Pitt played great. Denzel played really good. Miles got a ton of pressures. I don't think he got a sack, but he Did get
Yeah,
a
he
lot
was
of pressures on the quarterback, and
90 got that sack. He was in there all night. Hurst.
yeah, Hurst, yeah, he shared a sack with Shelby Harris, and then Taki got that one untouched.
Takisaki.
He got
Yep.
that one, but man, yeah, that's the thing. The defense still has been very impressive, and I feel similar to how the Jets probably feel, where it's like your quarterback, not that this shouldn't be the issue for you, but you just got to get that offense to be average. Like
Yeah.
even if we had a Jacoby Brissett offense, that would have been better than what we had today with
Yeah.
Deshaun. And like that's all we need. This defense is really good, and you can tell that they're going to be forcing turnovers this season, which is something that you know we haven't really seen. So, um,
He gotta not
um,
fumble. He can't fumble. If he don't fumble that and they pick it up and scoop it in and run it in, we win by 3 points, if not more.
yeah, yep, So,
Well,
that's my game ball.
all right. So we agreed that Coop deserved it, Delp it, and honorable mention to Ford. Shout out to the whole defense. All right, this new segment, another one should go pretty quick. Is D Hop still our kicker? And I would say, yeah, he went 2 for 3, including like a 50-something yarder. And since we lost by more than 3 points, the one he missed didn't hurt as much. So, yeah, good job, D Hop.
Yeah, I would say he still is our kicker. What kind of scares me, depending on his offense goes, this conversation might change to, does Stefanski still have a job? And
Right.
I'm not getting ahead of the horse or anything. And I really do, like, I know how important it is to have like continuity with coaching staffs and all that stuff. So I'm not out here saying his seat is hot, but I do think it's something to look out for, because what
He saw
happened.
somebody drop some matches. The seat might not be hot, but he definitely noticed somebody drop some matches out their
Yeah,
pocket.
right. Yeah, there's fire accessories near him
Yeah.
that added together could lead to a hot seat.
Yeah.
So all I'm saying is that this was a really bad display of coaching, making adjustments. We had to take a timeout on a punt return because we had too many men on the field. Like those types of things, man. Um, you
That
know,
we needed. That we turned out that we needed.
We needed, and even think about that very last play, how we're rushing to do this 4th and 7 that we did. We had a timeout. Why not take the timeout and calm yourselves down and get a play? Not that it's guaranteed to work, but might as well. If you're rushing, take a timeout. So
Yeah.
that is my
You're
point.
right.
We will see. We will see, though.
That's a good point. So for now, this is D Hop still our kicker, but it could change. It wouldn't be the first time this segment have changed. Focus. Watch out. Stay tuned, QB peers.
If you think about, if if this Deshaun thing doesn't work, there's too much money involved, and like they're just not going to get rid of Deshaun.
No.
So that would mean Stefanski would go. Like that.
Yep.
That's what would happen. And but like we had kind of said before, like if that does happen, which I hope it doesn't. I hope Stefanski's our guy, and then he works everything out. Then Jim Schwartz does have head coach experience, and it does keep the contingency of having the same defense and being defensive minded. So I'm just saying, if it
Yeah.
doesn't work out, there is something that would be there to fall back on. And whether that's why Jim Schwartz took the job or not, I don't know. I hope that doesn't even have to come into play. I hope Stefanski's the guy. However, we do have a DC that has head coach experience. That's all I'm going to say.
Hopes and previews for next week. I don't even know. I legit don't even know who we playing. So who are we playing? Who do we hope to beat next week?
We hope to beat the Titans.
Okay, they still got Derrick Henry.
Yeah, they have a running back, a healthy running back.
Yeah, because that's usually our biggest concern. The secondary been pretty solid this year. Like other than that one deep run or deep pass, or it wasn't even a deep pass, it was more of a run to Pickens tonight. We really didn't give up too many deep pass, a couple third down conversions but that's gonna happen. But so overall, the secondary been solid. It's the run game. So like this Derrick Henry
Mm.
motherfucker. Who they quarterback? Tannehill.
Ryan Tannehill, yeah. So he's been around for a while. He could, you can't take him lightly. He's
Yeah, he's
he's
solid.
yeah, he
And
is.
then they still got that AJ Brown or somebody else.
They definitely don't have AJ Brown. He was traded to the Eagles. But they have Traylon Burks. He's, I think, their number one. They do have DeAndre Hopkins, the other D Hop. Um,
The original D Hop.
the original D Hop, who I think is still proven to be pretty good. And then yeah, their defense is, you know, pretty good, I would say. So they just beat the Chargers. Chargers are supposed to be a good team.
Yeah.
So Tennessee Titans. They're 1-1. They lost to the Saints and they beat the Chargers. So
And given we now no longer have Nick Chubb, our MVP, unless we sign fucking what's the dude from Minneapolis, the running back.
we are probably not going to trade for Jonathan Taylor. I don't think. I mean, that would be.
Oh shit! All right, well, unless we bring Kareem Hunt back or something.
Yeah,
All
they're
right.
gonna have to they're gonna have to get somebody. I think. I
I'm
don't think.
still going. I still want to hope we win. I'm just trying to put my hopes on a 1 to 5. I'm gonna give it a solid 3.7 hopes that we
Mm,
can beat these guys.
three
Fuck it.
point seven out of five. That's a good amount of
Yeah,
hopes.
yeah, 3.7 out of 5 hopes.
Yeah, that's pretty good. Um, it's a home game.
Mm.
Um, I think. I mean, this game is going to be, I think, very telling of how this team is going to respond because, man, we got a lot of work to do on offense. Defense is, you know, pretty good, but even if you look at the Bengals game, outside of Nick Chubb, we didn't do shit on offense. And again, with the rain game, whatever. But point being, I'll give this 3.5 hopes out of 5. I am a little bit concerned. I'm a little bit concerned.
Yeah, because I mean, the Chargers have a solid quarterback, and they got that Eckler dude still, right?
Yeah, he was out that game.
Oh, okay. Well, anyway, it go. Yeah, they didn't beat bums, so and we lost to bums. Well, not necessarily bums, but a team we should have beat, a team we was ahead of in the fourth quarter. So yeah, so fuck 3.5, 3.7. That's around the same. That's like QB peers. We confident, but we not like overly confident. Like like last week, I was overly confident we was gonna beat the Steelers. So this week, it has I've taken it down a notch, obviously. But that's where we at, you QB peers. We got some confidence. Browns blotter. I don't think it's a whole lot. Let me see. What anything on my mind? Oh yeah, right quick, because I had to tweet about it. So I'm gonna say it on this podcast. And I don't like to scroll. That's why usually when I'm tweeting during the game, I just leave my little thing on blank so I can just see what I wanted to say and leave it blank. But then sometimes on commercials and shit, I might scroll. And I kept seeing fucking uh Baker Mayfield and Deshaun Watson comparisons that well, but he ain't doing nothing. Baker, fuck a Baker. Baker is gone. Y'all wasn't saying shit about him last year. Y'all was ready. Y'all was so happy he was gone. He was fucking up. Now all of a sudden, Baker. Plus, even if he wasn't, even if he wanted to stay here, he is gone. So we have Deshaun Watson and DTR. That's our quarterbacks. That's who we have to root for. That's who has to do good. Fuck who woulda, shoulda, coulda. what Baker could have. You might as well say what Dan Marino could have done. What the fuck? It don't matter. We have who we have. Shut the fuck up. Fuck Baker Mayfield. Respectfully. Yeah, that's what I wanted to say.
I like how you introduced that segment, like, oh, what's going on here? And then you went into a huge fuck Baker campaign. So that was pretty
Yeah, 'cause
funny.
I thought about what I was tweeting about. Like, yeah, that shit made me mad, man. I was all
uh,
trying to be sad about Nick Chubb, and now I got to be mad about y'all talking about fucking Baker Mayfield. It did get me out of my
yeah.
sadness, though. It knocked me out of my sadness real quick.
Man, that's nice. Yeah, this is yeah. Um I don't know that I just keep thinking about Nick Chubb. I don't know if I have anything for the random section.
Well, go ahead. No, whatever you got to say.
No, I just yeah, my heart hurts for Nick Chubb. It still feels very raw, very fresh. And I hope he gets to play again. I hope he's at the same level that we're used to. I hope he gets the best diagnosis that he can. I don't know what that looks like. I know it, it's a severe, severe knee injury that happens. So I really hope for the best for Nick Chubb. And man, what a brutal, brutal game. It's a really, really tough game overall.
Yeah.
Are you crying, Yusuf? It's okay,
No,
but you're
no,
not
no,
crying.
no.
Oh, okay.
No, no. I'm looking at you. Final thoughts for week 2 against the motherfucking Pittsburgh rival Steelers. Obviously, our final thoughts is with Nick Chubb or with Nick Chubb. Cause that's our guy. He my favorite player. I think he my favorite player ever. I think either he neck and neck with Barry or he just scooted past Barry Sanders. He definitely my favorite Browns player. That's no without question. And this is shitty. So like you said before, hopefully it's like an injury he can come back. I tweeted maybe he'd be back by week 10, week 12, week 14. Like let's just I mean because the way he got hurt, he got hit in the knee and he flipped. So it's like he absorbed a lot of that, but maybe
Did you?
just that little bit that he flipped and his foot wasn't planted the entire time. Maybe that little flip did just enough to get him back on the field with like 3 games left.
Yeah, I think his knee was pretty destroyed. I think he tore every ligament in his knee, but um, yeah, that was. I mean, he's gonna need some stem cells. He's gonna need
Yeah.
a fake knee, essentially. He need a robotic knee. I mean, I don't
Yeah,
know,
because
maybe.
they said that was already his already reconstructed
Yeah,
knee, so that's
yeah,
really
yeah.
bad. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I
Dang.
know. That's what scares me for him for the future. Is like I don't know what what that's gonna mean for his like career. How I don't know. It's really tough. Like I have not been that sad. I think the only thing I can compare it to in terms of like injuries wise was I don't know how long ago this was, but a long time ago the Browns signed this corner. He was on the Ravens. His name was Gary Baxter, and he
I
had
remember.
like Gary Baxter resigned. I think his first year at the Browns, he ruptured both of his like was it patella tendons or something? It's like both of his kneecaps, like both of them tore or something like that. And I was at that game, and it was just like I don't know what song but they were the Brown Stadium was playing like a really sad song as this was happening, as he was getting like carted off the field, and that was also like really really sad. We were all very excited to get a big signing like him because I think he won a ring with the Ravens at the time, and we
Yeah,
got him,
yeah.
and he got injured, and it was just like man, it was so sad. But yeah, like we said, I don't think we've had an injury like this where you know for sure they're done for the year, they're done, and a person that was that pivotal to the team that produced at a skill position, anyways.
Right.
So
In any sport you can think of, in any city, I mean, any team we have never had an impact player this
skills,
impactful.
yeah.
get
skills
hurt.
position, no, because you could say like Joe Thomas, he got hurt and that was it for him. But uh, nobody that's been as consistent. Obviously, it's never been a quarterback because we never had one.
Nope.
Wide receiver. I mean, who's been our best, most consistent wide receiver? I don't know if we've had one of those either. So, uh,
Braylon Edwards.
yeah,
Josh
for a hot
Gordon.
minute, for a hot minute. Oh yeah, Josh Gordon wasn't really hurt. He just
He
like to
didn't
smoke.
get hurt. He just couldn't play. And final thoughts was it's a very sad game. Nick Chubb, we need you back. Get well soon. We probably gonna say that every single podcast. But this has been another quintessential Browns podcast. But I have been Yusuf Ali. That was Jake Solomon. Until then, fucking go Browns.
Fucking go Browns.